So, in answer to what you were saying about the commentaries and so on, Psalm 37, Habakkuk, these are biblical materials with a very strange, idiosyncratic way of interpreting them. That's why commentary is not a very good word, though that's how they're listed in most translations, as commentaries. They're probably, the better word probably is pesher, because pesher is really the actual Hebrew word interpretation that one is talking about. Its interpretation is pesher hadavar. The interpretation of the passage is, I'm looking for a pen, I'm not finding one. I usually have, I'm in a pen for the blackboard. If anyone can pull one of those out of their hats, I'll be greatly indebted to you. I didn't seem to find, oh, here's some. I found a few. Okay, I found a few, it's okay. So, pesher hadavar, the devar is thing or passage. The interpretation of the passage is the peshero, its pesher is, its interpretation is. Hey, I didn't get one of those. I want one of those bags.
You didn't get
No,
one?
I didn't get one.
Dr.
No.
Eisenman.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
What?
Yeah, I thought that tangerine. I ate someone's tangerine. It was really good. You know. Was that picked from the tree in your backyard? Was it?
No, Greg.
Oh, Greg tangerine tree.
Mine were the lemons.
Okay, you're a lemon. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you're asking about the various pesherim. Psalm 37 and Habakkuk are really about the same thing. They have to be written around the same time. It doesn't matter, as I said, what the paleography says, carbon testing or anything like that. The internal data is totally consistent to be written around the same time. And probably all the sectarian documents are pretty close together. They may be, you guys want to go out and have a conversation outside? I mean, that's cool. You're here this week, I said. I wanted to have a chat with you, actually, about, I didn't realize that your background was somewhat restricted in terms of these Christian references, and I apologize to you because I thought everyone knew these kinds of references that I was referring to. So obviously I understand that you'd be a little lost in this situation I'm talking to. So because some folks told me that you were having trouble relating to some of those quotes, I apologize. I thought most people, were familiar with the New Testament, but yeah, I take that into consideration that you guys, some of you, write into me on your final exam that you didn't ever hear about any of this stuff. You don't know anything about Christianity. You don't know anything about the New Testament.
All of us don't.
You're all in the same boat. Well, I was in that boat when I was your age. Yeah, well, me too. So look at that. See what can happen to you.
Yeah.
But you see. You didn't tell me that, and so therefore, I was unaware. I had this other chap here who was decked out in paraphernalia that made it clear where he was, originating from, but he didn't seem to know anything about anything as far as materials went, Old Testament or New Testament. But I'm very sympathetic to the temple background. My real thing is that. I just came and did a big lecture out in Palm Springs Temple, actually, Friday, 2 of them, out there to try to make people realize that they have to try to come to grips with this material so they can see what has happened to very precious Jewish Messianic documents in the course of the Roman takeover of Palestine and the filtering of these materials through a Roman editorial process, which tended to reverse them into the Pax Romana, the Roman peace, whereas in fact these materials from the Dead Sea Scrolls, as you've been seeing, are very aggressive, militant, messianic, even warlike. They want to fight a final war against all evil on the earth. And so they're totally the opposite of the Christianity that we're familiar with. So I've been trying to show the passages that can be ranged against in order to make it parallel, but I thought I'd been reading a lot of that stuff to you, so those who are not familiar with it would see what the issues are. In other words, I've been picking passages out of the Pauline corpus and other places to show you what an Orthodox Christian text would do with this particular word or theme or material like you know, Moses' face, or the light on Moses' face, and the Sinai covenant, and Sarah, and things like that, because most people from temple background are not familiar with that, and it's really eye-opening for them to see it, I hope, yeah.
You're preaching in synagogues and they didn't throw you out and bar the door?
No, I wasn't preaching, I was lecturing on this material to a synagogue in Palm Springs Friday, yeah. But the rain so hard, I almost didn't even get there. I couldn't remember, it took me 5 hours on the Riverside Freeway to even get out to Palm Springs. It was a SIG alert or something. It was like, you know, I left at 12:30 in the afternoon and got to this place at 6 o'clock at night. So I can't believe it. I mean, I could have driven to, you know, Stockton in the same amount of time, you know. Okay, so I do, those people who are, I've been trying to throw the things out so that you could at least hear them, if not see them. And I don't think you guys are not familiar with this material. I don't think all the others in the class are familiar with it, because you'd be amazed how shallow the knowledge of things are, even from a faith standpoint of people who feel they're, you know, into that sort of approach. They really don't know the basic passages. They don't know the negative passages that I've read, for instance. They don't know when Paul says something like, I wish you would your own selves cut off, or I wish you would your gonies cut off, you know, for the people who are disturbing his communities with circumcision. Because circumcision is the sign of the covenant, and he objects to that. So I'm not advocating his position when I do that. I'm just trying to show you the two sides of the coin and how it's swinging back in this material. Anyway, I apologize to you guys who feel that I haven't made it clear enough to you because your background, it was alien to what you're familiar with. This material is probably alien to a lot of Christians in the room too, who have never read messianic militant material as you know, as aggressive as this. So I think that's so it's a two-sided coin there. Anyway, let's go on. So the pesherim, this plural of pesher is pesherim. I think you'd see that they're all written at around the same time because they deal with the same dramatis personae, the same people. Pesherim is plural of pesher. In Hebrew, masculine plurals are im, feminine plurals are ot. So you have masculine and feminine in Hebrew like you do in a lot of European languages. I mean, like German has even a neutral as Greek does, but Hebrew has just got masculine.